Hey everyone, C. Wilson here, and this is my Note 20 Ultra art review. So first thing I want to jump into is the display. The resolution is 3088 by 1440, and it measures in at 6.9 inches with 496 pixels per inch. And it is a fingerprint magnet for both the front and back. I wish it actually had the matte texture like the bronze one, but the other color models don't, so you might be better off getting the white one since it won't show smudges as bad. And in order to get that 120 Hz, it has to be lowered at 1080p. But the viewing angles are great, the display gets super bright, and I have no real problems with it besides the curved edges, which tend to get a little problematic when you're drawing or even writing notes. Next, let's talk about the S Pen. Pressure levels are at 4096. The latency is down to 9 milliseconds, which is reaching Apple Pencil levels, which is actually really good because now you have the same experience that people experience on their iPad Pros, but on your Note 20 Ultra. The nib measures in at a 0.7 diameter, and sadly enough, there's no pen nib replacements, which I don't know why at this price level you think they would kind of include that, but oh well. Pen accuracy is phenomenal, have no problems at all with that. Next thing is, if you're going to use the Canvas 13, I'm glad to tell you that it is compatible, although you do have to use the power adapter that comes with the Canvas 13 in order to power it. It for some reason doesn't actually power off of the Note 20 Ultra as a USB-C, and I do have the right one to power up the display, but it constantly blinks on and off. So in order to use this, you're going to have the power one plugged in as well as the USB-C to transfer enough power or data into the display. And once you have that hooked up, it works pretty good. Only thing is there's a little bit of lag when you're trying to draw on the screen. Not sure if it's just Clip Studio that I was using for this demonstration, but otherwise than that, it's pretty good. It gets the job done. And then there's this the camera bump. It's pretty massive, and when you have it on a flat desk, if you're trying to draw, if you don't have a case on it, it will wobble. And so to solve this, put a case on, and it kind of mitigates it from wobbling, and it kind of fixes that problem. So the overall drawing experience. The overall drawing experience is fairly good, but I would never do this to do cleanup work for an end product. This is more to me of a sketcher's phone, to where you just lay down rough concepts, that way you can finish them on your typical device that you use, whether that's a Surface Book, an iPad Pro, or even the Galaxy Tab. It makes it very hard and difficult to actually utilize the phone because it's very narrow. So the canvas that you have to work with, it doesn't provide enough space. So you're typically zooming in to try to get those finer details, but that's not all of it just yet. It's also the palm rejection. It's actually kind of poor on here. So on certain instances when drawing, you'll notice that marks are on the other side of the paper that you didn't actually do, or even using something like the lasso tool. When you're clicking in certain areas, it would deselect itself, which was kind of frustrating trying to use. And something else that I took note of is in certain programs, it seems like it's not taking advantage of the lower latency. So there is in certain programs like a slight lag that goes on from when you put the pen to the actual phone and start to draw, which is it's not bad lag or anything like that. It's still actually pretty capable and pretty good. It's just something that you should know. And while when you're drawing, another thing is these curved edges. These curved edges can drive you nuts sometimes. As you're going to the very end to make a drawing, the phone kind of will tilt over a little bit while you're drawing. And this is even with the case on. It does, with the case, lower the time not the time, but it lowers the those odds for it happening. But overall, when you're doing this and you put this all together in a very narrow phone, it makes for a very uncomfortable experience when it comes to actual cleanup and line art work. So like I said, I would recommend this more for you're at work, you're in the bathroom, you're walking somewhere, you're at Disney World with your kids, because artists would get inspired from no matter where we are. It's just having the tools to actually complete what we're inspired by. So it's like having a pocketable tablet in your pocket, and using this device you can whip out the S Pen and just start drawing no matter where your location is, which is always a great feeling when you're inspired to draw something. And overall, I'll say that if it's worth it, it comes down slightly to the factor of the price point, which is very expensive, which is over $1,300 unless you have a trade-in. But is it worth it? It comes down to, do you want a luxury sketchbook? There are older notes that you can get, like Note 10. You can get even the LG Stylo to do certain things. It won't come with Clip Studio Paint. That's if you actually like that with the subscription-based model. But there are other art apps such as Concepts, which is actually pretty good as well. iBiz Paint, also a great program to use. But all in all, I'll say the device is pretty solid, but with some of these little annoyances. Hopefully in the future, Samsung will get rid of the curves and make it a little bit better of an experience to draw on a flatter surface. But those were my thoughts and opinions. I'll go ahead and let the video play out to the very end. And if you like the video, make sure you drop a like and subscribe. And peace.